There comes a moment in life when you look in the mirror and don't recognize the person staring back at you. You feel lost, disconnected, like a stranger in your own body. You wonder, how did I get here? Where did the fire inside me go? Where did the passion, the clarity, the sense of purpose disappear to? Maybe life has worn you down. Maybe you've been carrying the weight of expectations, past failures, or the opinions of others for so long that you've forgotten who you truly are. You've been running on autopilot, waking up every day to the same routine, thinking the same thoughts, feeling the same emotions, trapped in a cycle that no longer serves you. But deep inside, beneath all the noise, there is still a part of you that remembers, a part of you that knows you are meant for more, a part of you that is waiting for you to wake up, to reclaim your power, to find yourself again. And that journey begins now, not tomorrow, not someday, but in this very moment. Because the truth is, you were never really lost. You just forgot how powerful you truly are. Your past does not define you. Too often, people live their lives as if they are prisoners of their past experiences, allowing mistakes, pain, and failures to shape their identity. They wake up each day carrying the same emotional burdens, reliving old wounds, and reinforcing the same limiting beliefs. But what if none of that was truly you? What if everything you have gone through, every challenge, every heartbreak, every moment of struggle was simply part of an old story, one that you no longer have to tell? The truth is, you are not your past. Your identity is not written in stone. Who you are today is only a reflection of the thoughts and emotions you have repeatedly entertained. If you have identified as someone who is broken, unworthy, or not enough, it is not because that is who you truly are. It is because you have rehearsed that story in your mind over and over again. The human brain is designed to reinforce patterns. When you think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, and take the same actions, you strengthen the neural pathways that keep you stuck in a familiar identity. But just because something feels familiar does not mean it is true. Most people don't realize they are reliving the past every single day. They wake up in the morning and immediately recall yesterday's worries. They check their phones, see the same stressful messages, feel the same emotions, and fall into the same routine. They interact with the world in the same way, expecting nothing different, and yet they wonder why their lives never change. But the truth is, as long as you continue to think like the person you were yesterday, you will continue to be that person today. But breaking free from your past begins with a simple realization: you are not bound by it. The events that happen to you do not have the power to control you, unless you continue to give them that power. It is not the past itself that holds you back. It is your attachment to the emotions associated with it. When you keep replaying painful memories, you keep yourself energetically tied to those moments as if they are still happening. But if you can recognize that those moments exist only in your mind, you can begin to free yourself from their grip. The key to transformation is understanding that every moment presents an opportunity to create a new version of yourself. You do not have to wait for external circumstances to change before you decide to become someone different. The shift happens the moment you choose to no longer identify with the person you were yesterday. Instead of reinforcing the belief that you are a victim of your past, you can start telling a new story, one where you are the creator of your destiny, not a prisoner of what has been. Changing your identity begins with changing your thoughts. If you want to become a confident person, you must begin thinking like a confident person. If you want to be someone who is free from the pain of the past, you must stop revisiting that pain in your mind. Instead of waking up and reliving old memories, you must train yourself to focus on new possibilities. What if, instead of waking up with stress and doubt, you woke up with gratitude? What if, instead of dwelling on past failures, you visualized a future where you are thriving? Science has shown that the brain does not distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. This means that if you start thinking and feeling as if you are already the person you want to become, your brain will begin to rewire itself accordingly. New neural pathways will form. Your body will start responding to this new identity, and your reality will begin to shift. This is not wishful thinking. It is the power of neuroplasticity, the ability of your brain to change and adapt based on your thoughts and experiences. But this process requires one thing: awareness. You must become aware of the unconscious patterns that have been running your life. You must catch yourself when you start falling into old thought loops and emotional habits. The moment you recognize that you are slipping into a past version of yourself, you have the power to stop, take a deep breath, and choose a different thought, a different reaction, a different energy. This is not about denying your past or pretending it never happened. It is about acknowledging that while the past shaped you, it does not have to define you. Growth happens when you stop identifying with the old version of yourself and start embodying the person you want to become. The past is only as powerful as the meaning you give it. And the moment you decide to stop letting it control your present, you open the door to an entirely new future. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have, yet most people go through life unaware of how much control they truly have over their thoughts. Every single day, your brain processes thousands of thoughts, many of which are simply repetitions of what you thought yesterday. These thoughts create emotions, and emotions drive your actions. Over time, these repeated patterns form your identity, shaping the way you see yourself and the world around you. The problem is that many of these thought patterns were not consciously chosen. They were programmed into you by past experiences, societal conditioning, and repeated emotional responses. Without even realizing it, you may have been living with beliefs and behaviors that do not serve you simply because they have been reinforced over time. Reprogramming your mind starts with understanding that your thoughts are not just random ideas floating through your head. They are instructions to your brain, shaping your perception of reality. If you constantly think thoughts of self-doubt, your brain will filter the world in a way that confirms those doubts. If you tell yourself that you are not good enough, your mind will find evidence to support that belief. This is how the brain works. It reinforces what you focus on. But the good news is that this mechanism can work in your favor. If your current thought patterns have been keeping you stuck, you can consciously create new ones that will move you forward. The key is awareness. Most people live on autopilot, reacting to life rather than creating it. They wake up, feel the same emotions, think the same thoughts, and repeat the same actions. But when you begin to observe your thoughts, you take the first step toward changing them. Instead of accepting every thought as truth, you start questioning them. You start asking, is this belief serving me? Is this thought leading me toward the life I want to create? The moment you become aware of your mental patterns, you gain the power to shift them. One of the most effective ways to reprogram your mind is through repetition. Just as your old beliefs were reinforced by years of repeated thinking, new beliefs must be embedded the same way. This is why affirmations and visualization are so powerful. When you repeatedly tell yourself that you are confident, capable, and worthy, your brain starts to accept those statements as reality. It doesn't matter if you don't fully believe it at first. What matters is consistency. The brain learns through repetition, and the more you reinforce a new belief, the stronger it becomes. Visualization is another tool that helps rewire the brain. Studies have shown that when you vividly imagine yourself achieving a goal, the same neural pathways are activated as if you were actually experiencing it. This means that your brain starts adapting to your new reality before it even physically happens. By visualizing yourself as the person you want to become, feeling the emotion, seeing the details, truly immersing yourself in that reality, you begin to shift your identity. And once your identity changes, your behaviors naturally follow. However, reprogramming your mind is not just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about breaking free from the emotional addictions that keep you tied to the past. Many people unknowingly become addicted to stress, worry, and fear because those emotions feel familiar. Even when they consciously want to change, their body craves the emotions it has been conditioned to experience for years. This is why change can feel uncomfortable. It requires breaking free from the familiar and stepping into the unknown. But the more you practice, the more your body adapts to new emotions like confidence, joy, and inner peace. The process of reprogramming your mind requires discipline. It is easy to fall back into old habits, especially when faced with challenges. But every time you catch yourself reverting to an old pattern, you have a choice. You can either continue reinforcing the old identity, or you can consciously choose a new thought, a new reaction, a new state of being. The more you do this, the easier it becomes. Over time, what once felt unnatural becomes second nature. You no longer have to force yourself to think differently. It simply becomes who you are. At its core, reprogramming your mind is about reclaiming your power. It is about realizing that you are not a victim of your thoughts. You are the creator of them. And when you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your life. Emotions are more than just reactions to external circumstances. They are the language of your subconscious mind. They serve as a powerful guidance system, constantly signaling whether you are aligned with your highest self or caught in old limiting patterns. Most people live at the mercy of their emotions, believing that they have no control over how they feel. They wake up feeling the same stress, worry, or sadness they did yesterday, and because these emotions feel familiar, they assume they are real. But emotions are not just random experiences, they are a direct reflection of the thoughts you focus on. When you become aware of this, you gain the ability to shift your emotions, and in doing so, change the course of your life. Your emotions are not just fleeting sensations, they create a biochemical response in your body. Every thought you think triggers a chemical reaction, releasing hormones that either uplift you or keep you stuck in a cycle of stress and fear. When you dwell on negative thoughts, your body floods with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, reinforcing a state of survival. This is why it can be so difficult to break free from negative emotions. They are addictive. The body becomes conditioned to them, seeking out situations and thoughts that reinforce the same emotional patterns. Most people have unknowingly trained themselves to feel the same emotions every day. If you have spent years feeling unworthy, anxious, or overwhelmed, your body has adapted to those emotional states. Even when nothing is wrong, your mind will find something to worry about because that is what it has been programmed to do. The good news is that just as you have conditioned yourself into negative emotions, you can condition yourself into elevated emotions like joy, love, and gratitude. One of the first steps to reclaiming control over your emotions is awareness. When you feel a negative emotion arise, instead of getting lost in it, observe it. Ask yourself, what thought triggered this feeling? Is this thought true? Is it helping me become the person I want to be? The moment you separate yourself from the emotion and see it as an observer, you weaken its hold over you. You realize that emotions are not facts. They are responses to the meaning you assign to situation. Change the meaning and you change the emotion. Most people allow their emotions to dictate their actions, but true transformation happens when you choose how you want to feel, regardless of external circumstances. This does not mean ignoring challenges or suppressing emotions. It means consciously deciding which emotional state you want to live in and training yourself to return to it over and over again until it becomes your new normal. If you want to feel empowered, you must practice thinking thoughts that create empowerment. If you want to feel abundant, you must practice gratitude for what you already have. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to shift your emotional state. When you focus on what you appreciate, your body releases dopamine and serotonin, chemicals that elevate your mood and reinforce a sense of well-being. The more you practice gratitude, the more your brain rewires itself to seek out positivity. This is why people who make gratitude a daily habit experience less stress, greater resilience, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. They are not waiting for external circumstances to make them happy. They are choosing happiness. First, another key to emotional mastery is understanding that your body follows your mind. If you continuously replay painful memories, your body will react as if those events are happening now, keeping you trapped in the past. But if you begin to visualize a future filled with excitement, love, and confidence, your body will start to believe in that reality. This is why elite athletes and successful individuals use visualization techniques to mentally rehearse success before it happens. They are training their emotions in advance, aligning their mind and body with the reality they want to create. Many people believe they need something external to change before they can feel better. They think, I'll be happy when I get the job, the relationship, the money. But this approach keeps them stuck because they are waiting for something outside of them to fix what is happening inside of them. The secret is to feel the emotion first. When you embody the feelings of joy, success, or love now, you attract experiences that match that energy. Shifting your emotions is not about ignoring reality. It is about creating a new one. The more you consciously choose your emotional state, the more you take control of your life. Instead of reacting to the world, you begin to shape it. Your emotions are your greatest guide, showing you whether you are moving toward the life you desire or staying stuck in an old story. And when you learn to master them, you unlock the power to create anything you want. Most people live their lives within the boundaries of what feels safe and familiar. They wake up each day and follow the same routine, think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, and engage in the same behaviors. This sense of predictability provides comfort, but it also creates stagnation. When you live only within the familiar, you reinforce the same identity you have always had. Your brain and body operate in automatic mode, following the patterns you have conditioned over time. While this may feel safe, it also limits growth, creativity, and the ability to create a new future for yourself. Stepping beyond the familiar is uncomfortable because it requires you to let go of certainty. The human brain is wired for survival, and it perceives anything unknown as a potential threat. This is why change feels difficult. Your brain wants to keep you where it knows you can survive, but the paradox is that real transformation can only happen in the unknown. If you want to become someone new, you cannot keep thinking, feeling, and acting the way you did yesterday. You have to break the cycle of predictability and enter a space where you are no longer defined by past patterns. One of the main reasons people stay stuck is their emotional attachment to the past. Emotions are powerful, and the body memorizes them like a habit. If you have spent years living with stress, worry, or self-doubt, your body becomes conditioned to those states. Even if you consciously desire change, your subconscious mind will try to pull you back into the emotions that feel familiar. This is why many people sabotage their own progress. They attempt to step into something new, but when discomfort arises, they retreat into old habits because it feels safer. To break free, you must be willing to embrace discomfort. Growth is not a smooth, effortless process. It is a process of rewiring yourself to become a different person. When you make a decision to change, your mind and body will resist at first. You will feel the pull of old emotions, the urge to go back to what feels normal. But this is the precise moment where transformation begins. The discomfort you feel is not a sign that you should stop. It is a sign that you are stepping into the unknown, which is exactly where you need to be. Your brain thrives on repetition, which means that the more you expose yourself to new experiences, thoughts, and emotions, the more comfortable they become. At first, unfamiliar actions may feel forced or unnatural, but over time they become second nature. The same way you once conditioned yourself into fear or self-doubt, you can condition yourself into confidence, joy, and success. The key is to keep pushing beyond what feels normal until your new reality becomes your default state. Fear is the biggest barrier to stepping into the unknown. The fear of failure, rejection, or discomfort holds many people back from taking risks. But fear is simply a product of the mind, a projection of imagined worst-case scenarios. In reality, most of the things people fear never actually happen, and even when challenges arise, they are rarely as catastrophic as the mind anticipates. The key is to move forward despite the fear, trusting that growth always requires moments of uncertainty. One of the most powerful ways to break free from the familiar is to change your environment. Your surroundings, habits, and even the people you interact with influence your identity. If you are constantly exposed to the same influences, your mind reinforces the same beliefs and behaviors. But when you introduce yourself to new experiences, reading new books, traveling to new places, meeting new people, you expand your mind and open yourself to new possibilities. Each time you step into an unfamiliar situation, you rewire your brain to adapt to change. The present moment is where all transformation happens. Most people either live in the past, replaying old experiences, or in the future, worrying about what might happen. But the future is created in the now. When you make a conscious choice to step into the unknown, you shift your energy and open yourself to new possibilities. Instead of being controlled by old habits and emotions, you become the creator of your reality. This shift does not happen overnight, but it begins the moment you decide to stop living in the safety of the known and start stepping into who you are meant to become. You are not limited by your past, your fears, or your circumstances. The only limits that exist are the ones you accept. When you step beyond the familiar, you step into your power. Your identity is not fixed. It is a collection of beliefs, emotions, and behaviors that you have reinforced over time. Most people assume that who they are today is simply the result of their past experiences, genetics, or circumstances. But the truth is that identity is fluid. It is shaped by the thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, and the habits you practice daily. The problem is that most people live in an unconscious state, operating from old conditioning without realizing they have the power to change. They wake up each day and reinforce the same identity they had yesterday, thinking the same thoughts, feeling the same emotions, and making the same choices. But if you continue to repeat the same patterns, you will continue to create the same reality. If you want to find yourself again, you must be willing to let go of the old version of you and step into something new. Your identity is like a program running in the background of your life. From childhood, you were influenced by the people around you, your parents, teachers, society, and you unknowingly absorb beliefs about who you are and what you are capable of. Over time, these beliefs became ingrained in your subconscious mind, shaping your self perceived and convincing, influencing the way you think, feel, and act. If you were told you were not smart enough, not worthy enough, or not capable enough, you may have unconsciously accepted those labels, even if they were never true. The mind does not question what is repeated often enough, it simply accepts it as reality. Breaking free from an old identity requires awareness. You must become conscious of the beliefs and thought patterns that have been shaping your life. Start by asking yourself, who do I believe I am? What labels have I placed on myself? Are these beliefs serving me or are they holding me back? When you begin to observe your thoughts without attachment, you realize that many of them are simply old programs playing on repeat. They are not who you truly are, they are just patterns you have reinforced. And just as they were created, they can be changed. The process of reinventing yourself begins with a decision to no longer accept the limitations of your past. It requires stepping beyond the familiar and embracing the unknown. This is where most people struggle because change is uncomfortable. The brain craves certainty, and when you start to shift your identity, it creates resistance. Doubts arise, fears surface, and your old self tries to pull you back into what feels safe. But if you want to transform, you must be willing to step into the discomfort. You must be willing to challenge every thought and emotion that tries to convince you that you are still the person you used to be. One of the most powerful ways to shift your identity is to act as if. Instead of waiting until you feel different, start behaving as if you already are the person you want to become. If you want to be confident, practice confidence even when it feels unnatural. If you want to be disciplined, start making choices from the mindset of someone who is disciplined. The brain learns through experience, and the more you embody a new identity, the more natural it becomes. Over time, your brain rewires itself to align with your new self-pigeon, and what once felt forced becomes effortless. Another key to transformation is mastering your emotions. Your identity is deeply connected to the emotions you experience daily. If you have lived with self-doubt or fear for years, your body has become conditioned to those emotional states. Even when external circumstances change, you may find yourself falling back into familiar emotional patterns because they feel normal. To break free, you must train yourself to feel new emotions before your external reality changes. Instead of waiting for success to feel worthy, practice feeling worthy now. Instead of waiting for a reason to be joyful, cultivate joy in the present moment. When you shift your internal state, your external world begins to reflect it. Your habits also play a crucial role in shaping your identity. Every action you take reinforces a certain belief about yourself. If you consistently follow through on your commitments, you build the identity of someone who is reliable and disciplined. If you constantly procrastinate, you reinforce the identity of someone who lacks focus. The key to lasting change is aligning your daily habits with the person you want to become. Small, consistent actions compound over time, and before you know it, you have stepped into a completely new version of yourself. Surrounding yourself with the right influences is another critical factor. Your environment shapes your identity more than you realize. If you are constantly around people who doubt themselves, you will naturally absorb that energy. But if you surround yourself with individuals who inspire, challenge, and uplift you, You begin to expand your own perception of what is possible. The people you interact with, the books you read, and the content you consume all contribute to the person you become. Be intentional about what you allow into your mind because it is shaping your identity every single day. Finding yourself again is not about returning to who you were in the past. It is about consciously choosing who you want to be now. It is about shedding the layers of conditioning that no longer serve you and stepping into the highest version of yourself. You are not limited by your past mistakes, your fears, or your old identity. At any moment, you have the power to redefine yourself and create a life that aligns with your true potential. The question is, are you willing to let go of who you were so you can become who you are meant to be? The future is not something that happens to you, it is something you create. Most people go through life believing that their destiny is predetermined by their past, their circumstances, or external forces beyond their control. They wake up each day repeating the same thoughts, feeling the same emotions, and making the same choices, all while wondering why their life never changes. But the truth is, your future is shaped by what you do in the present moment. The decisions you make, the thoughts you focus on, and the emotions you cultivate today are actively constructing the reality you will experience tomorrow. If you want to find yourself again, you must take responsibility for creating the future you desire instead of waiting for it to arrive. The mind is constantly projecting possibilities into the future, but most people use this ability unconsciously. Instead of envisioning a future of growth, success, and fulfillment, they imagine worst-case scenarios. They let fear dictate their vision of what is possible, replaying doubts and insecurities that keep them stuck in the same patterns. The brain is wired to seek safety, and because of this, it tends to resist change. But the reality is, nothing in life is ever truly certain. The only way to create a new future is to step beyond the illusion of comfort and start consciously designing the life you want. The first step in creating your future is to get clear on what you truly want. Many people never take the time to define their vision, and as a result, they drift through life without direction. They react to circumstances instead of shaping them. But when you take the time to vividly imagine the future you desire, when you see it in your mind with clarity and detail, you begin to program your subconscious to bring that vision to life. The brain does not know the difference between a real experience and one that is vividly imagined. When you repeatedly visualize yourself succeeding, growing, and evolving, your mind starts to accept it as reality. It begins to look for opportunities, solutions, and paths that align with that vision. However, creating your future is not just about thinking positive thoughts. It is about aligning your actions with your vision. Too many people wait for the perfect moment to start pursuing their dreams. They tell themselves, I'll start when I feel ready, or I'll take action once the circumstances are right. But waiting for the perfect moment is an illusion because it never comes. Growth does not happen in ideal conditions. It happens when you decide to take action despite uncertainty. Every small decision you make in the present is a vote for the person you are becoming. If you consistently choose actions that align with your highest self, you will inevitably create the future you desire. Your emotions play a critical role in shaping your future as well. Most people allow their emotions to be dictated by their environment. If things are going well, they feel happy. If challenges arise, they feel discouraged. But the key to creating the future you want is learning to master your emotions in the present. Instead of waiting for external circumstances to bring you joy, confidence, or peace, you must generate those feelings now. When you embody the emotions of your desired future, you send a powerful signal to your brain and body that this new reality is already yours. Your physiology shifts, your energy changes, and you start attracting experiences that match your elevated emotional state. Another essential element in creating your future is breaking free from the limitations of your past. Many people stay stuck in old patterns because they identify too strongly with their past experiences. They define themselves by their failures, their traumas, or their mistakes, carrying those stories into every new chapter of their life. But your past does not define you. Your choices do. At any moment, you have the power to release old narratives and step into a new version of yourself. The more you focus on where you are going instead of where you have been, the faster you will create the future you want. Surrounding yourself with the right influences is also crucial. The people you spend time with, the information you consume, and the environments you place yourself in all shape your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. If you're surrounded by negativity, doubt, or complacency, it will be difficult to elevate yourself beyond that energy. But when you immerse yourself in environments that inspire growth, challenge your limitations, and reinforce your vision, you accelerate your transformation. Your future is being shaped not only by what you do, but also by what you expose yourself to daily. Taking control of your future requires discipline and commitment. It is not about making one big change overnight. It is about consistently choosing the thoughts, emotions, and actions that align with your highest vision. Every time you decide to show up differently, every time you choose courage over fear, every time you push beyond your comfort zone, you are actively shaping the person you are becoming. Your future is not something you wait for. It is something you create moment by moment, choice by choice. The journey to finding yourself again is not about searching for something outside of you. It's about remembering who you have always been. It's about peeling away the layers of fear, doubt, and conditioning that have kept you stuck. It's about stepping beyond the familiar, breaking free from the past, and boldly creating the future you desire. You are not bound by your mistakes, your failures, or the limitations others have placed on you. You are limitless. You are capable of more than you have ever imagined. Every thought you choose, every emotion you embrace, every action you take is shaping the person you are becoming. The power to transform your life is in your hands. It won't always be easy. There will be moments of discomfort, resistance, and uncertainty. But in those moments, you must remember you are not here to live a life of hesitation or regret. You are here to grow, to evolve, to step into the fullest expression of who you are meant to be. So go forward with courage. Trust yourself. Take that first step, even if it feels uncertain, because the life you are searching for is waiting on the other side of that leap. Good luck on your journey, and thank you for choosing to rise. The world is waiting for you to shine.